Hi, Pedro here from A&P-REACTS with Ukri. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. The weather is amazing, and it's been for a couple of weeks, and I've been outdoors all the time. I don't want to waste any day spending indoors too much.
I've seen your pictures on Instagram. You've been posting some really quality shots of some nice sceneries. Are those near where you live? By the way, where do you live exactly in Finland?
I live in Helsinki mostly, but I'm not going to details. But right now I have this current situation that I changed between Oulu and Helsinki at times. So last 2 months I've been in Helsinki, and this is where I officially live in.
So those sceneries that you've been posting pictures on Instagram, are those around Helsinki?
Yes. The one I posted yesterday, that was actually surprisingly only half an hour drive from here, which I was very surprised because I had this idea that the national park was like 2 hours away.
Oh, the scenery is absolutely beautiful. I'm really impressed with those shots. But we're not here to talk about weather or scenery. We're here to talk about your music. And the first question that I have for you is, you've played in several different bands. You've played with Whispered, you've played with Before the Dawn, you've played with Abath. Like you've just played with a lot of different bands that have a lot of different styles.
Yes.
How do you adapt to go from band to band and fit into those different genres, into those different styles?
I think the question is mostly about time and practice. Just I need certain time to get prepared for any project I'm going to be involved with. Sometimes I get I might get 6 weeks time to practice just by myself. Sometimes I get 2 weeks, and it changes, and it's interesting. I really like changing from project to another. And I think what is the hardest part about it is that you kind of have to adapt your playing style and using your body to hold different styles and hold different adaptations. But over time, what seems to happen on me is that my whole playing gets more integrated. So, because I've been talking with some of my colleagues, they play in very different bands. They say they have this problem that it's very hard to adapt from playing some really heavy groovy stuff to playing technical death metal, for example, because you kind of have to transform your whole style of playing to a different project. But I guess what's happening to me is that my playing is getting more integrated, so I don't have to make rapid changes from one style to another.
So would you say that playing in so many different bands that have so different styles, I mean, the styles are not even, in some cases, not even similar, does that make you an overall better player, better drummer?
Definitely, yeah. I think I have a very good background in, I've always been very metal-oriented musician. And I've been playing very many different kind of sub-genres of metal. So I have pretty good backgrounds to playing different styles of metal even before I played in any bands.
Now let me ask you this, because when I hear you talk about playing in different styles and merging your playing style into one and becoming a better drummer, the next question I have about that is, we all have a specific genre of metal that we really like. And when you're playing in bands that are so different, like from black metal to melodic death metal to technical death metal, do you have to enjoy each genre in order to be able to perform the songs in that live setting? Or you enjoy drumming, so it doesn't really matter what the genre is, you're able to enjoy what you're doing at that specific moment?
No, it's definitely about enjoying the whole music. I'm mostly I consider myself mostly as a drummer, instrument wise, but I don't think that I play drums. I play music, and drums is just a channel for me to feel authentic about music. Yeah.
Now, the following up to that to me is the fact that you play in you've played in different projects and you work in different projects. You have your own project, which we will talk about that. Do you consider yourself a hired gun, if you will, someone who is open to play with any project, with any band, considering the offer is the right offer for you at the right time?
No, I think I always had a very high criteria for any project I've been involved with, and the criteria is mostly about music. So I really want to, any project I play with, it's the music I really enjoy and the music I want to have in my CV. So music is always the priority. Yeah.
So you first, before you accept the project, you obviously look at what the project is, what the music is, what they're trying to do, and then you see if you fit into that, and if it more important, if it fits into you.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there any live performance that for some reason has marked you, that you go back and say, wow, that one show is a show that I'm never going to forget? Is there one specific live performance in your career so far that has a special place in your heart?
There is a couple of very special gigs I remember. One would be 2011. I played at it was a Pearl clinic. I was officially announced to be a Pearl artist. I played there with Kai Hahto from Nightwish and a few other crazy drummers from Finland. And another one would be 2013, playing in Tuska with a band called Delirium's Order. And I guess third one would be playing in Moscow with Abbath, just like 2 months ago.
From what you're saying, all of those, I think, gave you something completely different, and that difference is where it marked you. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely.
The first one that you did with all the other drummers, how did that go? Can you give us some details about that? Because that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, that was so I think it goes back to 2010 when I was posting a lot of Nile drum covers in YouTube. And the drummer of Nile, George Colias, he contacted Pearl Finland, and we started talking about me getting endorsed by Pearl. I actually became the first Pearl artist in Europe whose the endorsement deal was based in activity in social media. So it was the fall of 2011. Kai Hahto, he had a Pearl drum clinic in Tampere. I was discussing with the guy of Pearl Finland, and he had this idea that you should go to play one song in the clinic. So it was mostly just it was Kai Hahto's drum clinic, but there was a couple of featuring drummers as well, including me. So I played one song there from Delirium's Order. Fuck, it's very hard to spell the name. Yeah.
Let me ask you this about the clinic.
Yeah.
Did you guys introduce I'm sure there were people there to take on that clinic, correct? Like just regular people could sign up and go there for the clinic. Is that how it worked?
Yes.
So for those people
it was free clinic, and that was just based on social media and some social promotion. Well, it was free clinic. Yeah.
So for those people going into that clinic, let me ask you this. Did you guys spend any time on introducing those good people that went to that clinic on the advantages of using cowbell and metal?
No, there was not a cowbell in the clinic, but I think more Subida should use more cowbell in the future.
You know what? I've been telling Mika that I really think they need to introduce more cowbell to their music. I think that's what's going to take that band to the next level.
Yeah, I think so, because it's gonna put some less folk Scandinavian Fenno pagan metal influences on the music. So
yeah, I
be more brutal and groovy, you know.
I totally agree with you. And speaking of cowbell, I just want to mention this. I was at the Behemoth show this past week in Toronto, and I was surprised with how much cowbell they actually used in their music. So, I mean, those guys are really on the forefront of the whole cowbell movement that I've really been pushing, you know?
I definitely agree. Really looking forward to the next cowbell release of Behemoth.
Let me ask you another question that has nothing to do with cowbell, I promise. Is there any project out there that, I mean, I'm not saying that you know already about it, but would there be any project or any situation that you could see yourself become a full-time member of that band and stay with that band and play with that band only? Or do you enjoy the freedom that you currently have that allows you to play with different bands and different projects?
Yeah, right now I'm very satisfied with this whole situation that I can do anything basically and change projects and evolve at the same time. I'm definitely happy about this situation, but I think one thing that I have in mind for future is that I really want to have be essential part of project that I had creative input to the band and production. Something that I would like consider my child, like artistically.
Well, you have your own project as well.
Yes.
That you started in 2013, I believe, right? That's when you did the second release of your project?
Yes, that was the second release. So in 2010, I released my first EP in YouTube, which I posted as separate clips, just video clips, and I never posted it in as MP3 or Spotify or Bandcamp. It's just YouTube, and not so many people are familiar with it. But yeah, 2013, I released my second solo release, and it's been 5 years since. And no new music out yet, but there's plenty.
Well, that's going to be my next question. Are you planning on releasing anything soon?
Yeah, definitely. I have 2 new albums, or actually 1 album and 1 EP on my computer. It's basically already pre-produced and written. And for the full-length album, I already recorded drums as well. Yeah, at the studio two years ago.
You did, for people that don't know, you pretty much played every single instrument, and you also did the singing in the second release that you did in 2013. So I'm assuming you probably will be doing the same in any future releases.
Yes.
To me, it's kind of an amazing process. I mean, I can barely tie my own shoelaces, never mind playing all these different instruments like you did and singing on top of it. I've checked your YouTube videos for those projects. I was blown away. Are you kind of like the Dave Grohl of Finland?
No, I wouldn't consider myself Dave Grohl, but yeah, I have a background in musical family, and both my parents, they are musicians and play various instruments. I played various instruments since I was a child. I started playing guitar when I was 7, and ever since I've been writing music. I actually started playing drums a bit later, but it kind of became my main focus.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the quality of the work, because the project that you released on YouTube, the projects you've released on YouTube, it's really impressive quality of work. I just feel that perhaps it hasn't reached a larger audience as it should, but the quality is there. So when you release your next one, are you going to release it as well only on YouTube, or are you planning on releasing it maybe on Spotify or having some MP3s available? Like how are you planning any future releases of your own personal work?
Yeah, actually, I have the second release in Spotify and Bandcamp, and it's available for free downloading as well. But yeah, definitely going to at least release the next albums on similar way, at least, or maybe even physical albums. But I don't know about that, because it's it's the music business. It's changed so much. Yeah.
Everybody that I talk to tells me two things, and I want to see if you agree with those two. First thing they say is music business has changed a lot over the last couple of years. Yeah. The second thing that people say to me is that there's no money in music. Now, my question is, if there's no money in music, why there's so many people starting their own bands?
Sorry, did you ask why?
Yeah.
Well,
I guess you don't do it for the money. You do it because you enjoy playing.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I never had this idea about getting money on music, or of course it is there. The idea is there, but it's not like I never intentionally have worked towards getting money on music. So it's just about to me music is just something very deep and very, very personal, and it's quite easy to release music on your own nowadays, because you can make very high quality demos just by yourself and just put it out on the internet. You basically, you don't need high budget to release an album.
No, the technology has evolved such that you can pretty much create a whole album in your own house with your computer and with your instruments, and reach a much larger audience than you could 10 years ago. Yeah. So definitely, I think the technology is there to help you do that. Now, the maybe the negative side is that it's not only there for you, it's there for everybody. So the market perhaps gets flooded with everybody doing the same thing, don't you think?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it's about. It's not only about music business, but it's also about music in general. That we have this massive sort of fluid of everything, and it's hard to get how you call it, hard to be unique and hard to be noticed as something special.
Yeah, you almost have to create like a gimmick or something. Like you need something to set you apart from the rest of the guys.
Yeah, definitely.
I saw a comment that you posted on Facebook, and I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't sure if you were being sarcastic or if you were actually being serious about the comment. It really caught me off guard, and I really didn't know where to go with it. And then we after that we started a conversation about it. And even while we were talking, I still wasn't sure if you were joking with me or if you were actually being serious. And the comment was of how good Lars Ulrich from Metallica is as a drummer. Now, were you serious?
I was both serious and both sarcastic. I think the problem about this comment was that you kind of have to know me to understand it. Anyway, okay. It's my personal Facebook I'm using. So, but yeah, definitely there's this both sides. I'm definitely kidding about it as well, but as well I'm serious about it, because for me and many drummers, Lars Ulrich he was very big inspiration and very big influence, and especially when I was a child. But even now, I totally, my opinion hasn't changed that he has done some very great arrangement work in Metallica's music. Also, I think he's a great live performer as well. So he's just amazing.
This leads me into two questions that I have. One is there a drummer out there that you really look up to and you've looked up to for a long time that you would love to meet in person? Is there somebody out there that really you put it on the top of the mountain as far as drummers are concerned?
Yes, definitely. That would be Thomas Hake and George Calais. But actually, I met them both a couple of times. So,
how did that go? Meeting, like, I mean, you idolize those guys, and then you finally meet them in person. How did it go?
It was fun. It was fun and adventurous, so to speak.
Yeah,
it's a couple of years since these meetings, but I have definitely good memories about it.
Were you like a little bit like a schoolgirl, like a little fanboy? Did you ask for an autograph or something? Because I'm saying this from my own personal experience. I mean, I have a couple of idols of mine musically, and I think if I met them, I think I would shit my pants.
Yeah. It's kind of, there's many sides to this, many feelings, because at the same time, these are the persons that you kind of idolize and looked up for so long, but at the same time, they just happen to be the coolest guys ever and just very nice people to spend time with.
That's a good thing, because sometimes you idolize people, and then when you meet them, it doesn't really translate to what your image was of them. You know what I mean? So it's nice when those two worlds come together in a positive way. Yeah. Then the second part of my question is, besides the drummer, is there any band out there that you would say, man, I would love to one day play with those guys? Because I really like the band, but more important, I'm a huge fan of their music. Is there one band out there that really moves you?
I would love to play live with Slipknot.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of this band, but they have crazy good energy and they are a crazy live band. So I would definitely love to experience this.
I'm starting to notice here something with you. I think you enjoy bands that either paint their faces or wear masks.
Well,
I'm noticing a pattern.
Well, it's easy to notice because it's so rare, because most bands, they don't use masks. But yeah, but the latest bands I've been playing with, I've been actually thinking about this myself as well, because both latest bands I've been playing with, Whispered and Abath, they used masks. When I was on tour with Whispered, I was kind of expecting to get to sort of similar band next time as well. I mean, mask-wise.
Do you enjoy that part of the show, because it becomes part of the show?
Yeah, it's like it's almost like an alter ego or a different identity, sort of.
I was just going to say that it's almost like you allow yourself to create an alter ego that comes through in that persona.
Yeah, it's very nice, because anyways, when you are going to stage with any band, you it's anyways different than your normal life personality, at least for me. So it's just a different level of it to wear a mask and have this sort of alter ego.
Last question I have for you. Is there any plans, anything you can share with the folks watching at home that you are involved in? Anything, shows, tours, personal projects, anything that you can share for the rest of 2018? What's in the pipeline for you?
There's plenty of gigs with Whisper and Abath till next fall at least. And I wouldn't make promise to release new music this year, but it's very much possible that I'm getting out some new music this year. I'm working on it every day, and it's already recorded and pre-produced and written, so it should not be impossible to get it out.
Well, thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate this. It was a pleasure finally being able to talk to you not in person, but at least live.
Likewise.
Instead of just sending messages back and forth. For all of those people watching at home, we're going to put links in the description below to the projects that you released on YouTube so people can go and check those out. We're also going to put a link to your Facebook artist page so people can follow you there and see what you've been up to. And once again, Ukri, thank you very much for your time. You're a gem of a person. I really enjoy following you on the social media because you post some really cool stuff and you're a fun guy. So thank you very much for doing this today. I really appreciate it.
Likewise, I have to say that your YouTube channel is one of my favorites in YouTube.
Thank you very much.
It's very entertaining content. It's amazing. So just keep up the good work.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate those kind words. See ya.
See ya.